Let's don't let a good thing die.
Now, this Prince Andrew's daughter, just so you won't be confused, because the people in the short stream like they act like they know everything. This Prince Andrew's daughter, but that's not what's most interesting. I want you to look into them eyes. Look deep into them eyes and tell me what you see. Yeah, look at them eyes. Tell me what you see.
Alright, this thing is about to hit right now. This is crazy. Holy shit, look at the buildings just disappear. Bro, have you ever seen one this crazy? This is wild.
Hey, they got the money for my uncle on the middle of grass shit. Yeah, Black. The best to ever do it. Yeah, boy. Rest well, Unc. Rest well, Unc. Look at him.
I guarantee you that pilot kept like 80% of the money for himself. But yo, why can't stuff like this happen when I go outside, for real? What it do, my good people, and welcome back. In this episode, we're gonna watch conspiracy TikToks that might have you sitting back in your chair like, oh man, no way, you've got to be kidding me, what in the world?
Are you filming the road?
Yeah.
Why?
We don't have this at home.
Really? You don't have what?
Savine Sangha, better known as the ketamine queen, pled guilty to selling Matthew Perry the drugs that ultimately ended his life. Prosecutors say the 42-year-old dual citizen of the U.S. and U.K. was a prolific drug dealer in L.A. She's the fifth and final defendant in the case of the Friends actor's overdose death.
The oldest baby in the world was just born, and even though it's just a few days old, it's already older than you and me. So back in the 90s, a baby in Ohio was frozen as an embryo. Well, just a few days ago, that embryo was born and is now a full-on baby. Now, the parents of this baby are 34 and 35, and the baby is technically 30 years old since it was frozen all the way back in 1994. So that means that the baby is only a few years younger than the parents. Technically speaking, if the baby wasn't frozen and it was born back in 1994, then the parents of this baby and the baby would have possibly spent a year or two at the same school together. Now, since the original woman who froze her embryos never exactly gave birth to this baby, the baby has two adopted parents right now. But the actual mother of the baby, the one whose embryos were frozen, is going to eventually get to meet this baby that has been in the works for 30 years. And she actually has a child who is 30 years old. So that child and this baby are siblings that are the same age, even though they have a 30-year age gap between them.
What the hell? That's crazy. Bro was AFK for 30 years.
There's been a spectacular demolition job at a decommissioned power plant in England. 8 114-metre tall cooling towers have come crashing down in simultaneous explosions, the largest coordinated demolition of its kind. The coal-fired power station was shut down 6 years ago. It'll make way for a green energy project.
A homicide investigation underway as a man was found dead at the Burning Man festival in Nevada. This happened Saturday night. Authorities say someone at the event told the sheriff's deputy around that there was a man, quote, lying in a pool of blood. Officials responded, and they did find at that campsite in Black Rock City a dead man lying on the ground. The sheriff's office said it appears it's an isolated incident, just the one guy. Festival organizers released a statement saying they are cooperating with law enforcement.
What in the world, man? Yeah, I hate to say it, but whoever it was definitely got away with murder. Prayers go out to the man's family.
Why was Trump so angry after Putin and Kim Jong-un attended the military parade in China? The truth behind it is shocking. Shortly after the military parade was held in China, Trump accused the leaders of China, North Korea, and Russia of conspiring against the United States. His words betrayed anger, which puzzled many people. Why was Trump so angry? Apart from anger, he was more panicked. This was like a signal of resistance to the West, making him realize that his trade tariffs and capricious policy-making could no longer check a country. Not only that, he emphasized that American soldiers sacrificed their blood for China's freedom, attempting to use such a means to stress the kindness of the United States. But it seems that he has forgotten that it was the United States that provided Japan with resources in order to attack China.
This is a photograph of the alien from the movie Alien. This is what you could end up looking like if you eat some of the raw, frozen shrimp being sent to the United States by other countries.
Good God.
This massive grid is the farm of the future. It's the world's first AI-powered robotic vertical farm. And here's the crazy part. These farms can grow crops in just 15 days using 95% less water, all fully automated. The company behind this is called AutoStore, and their farms are already producing greens that are sold in Whole Foods. Now, the reason these farms are so efficient is because of their innovative design. They're built like a giant Rubik's Cube on steroids. Each farm has dozens of wheeled robots that transport crops to different positions in the grid. And this ensures all plants get exactly the right amount of light, nutrients, and water that they need. Now here's the cool part. This system is fully hydroponic, so all the water is reused and no soil is required to grow. And get this, since the grid is so compact, these can be placed directly inside of distribution centers or stores. Eventually, you might see a future where Costco or Walmart uses these robotic vertical farms to literally grow their own produce inside the store. But the real genius of these farms is that they can operate completely independent from the weather. And this means they can work in all conditions. That's the 4D chess move here, space farming. It sounds crazy, but in 10 years, we're gonna see robotic vertical farms like this on Mars.
The robots are going.
And so to take that evidence and say, how do we avoid that? So when the stuff in the movie starts to come true, and it always ends badly in the movies, what should we be doing about this? And so you would think that we're releasing the most powerful, uncontrollable, inscrutable technology we've ever invented. We're releasing it faster than we've released any other technology in history. It is already demonstrating the sci-fi behaviors in self-preservation we thought only existed in these movies. And we're doing it under the maximum incentive to cut corners on safety. And this is insane. We can all agree it's insane, though. Like, that's not even a debate.
Well, not all of us, because I have yet to find anyone under 40 who cares.
Guys, Lady Gaga is back, and things just got creepier. What was she trying to signal inside this video? I believe she was trying to tell us that everybody is a puppet. Yes, I'm literally talking about real life puppets being controlled. Y'all remember in Caroline how the other mother was sewing buttons over people's eyes so that way they don't see the actual truth? This doll right here was in the music video during Lady Gaga video. And what does that doll look like? Statue of Liberty. If you ask me, it looks like she was talking about America.
This woman has been doing anything possible to get attention since I was like 14. Like, no lie, I still remember her wearing that meat suit at that award show.
Are you on the radio?
No.
Really?
No, they won't play me. They don't like my thoughts on things.
Really? Mm-hmm. If you don't mind revealing the sleazy underbelly of the business, like that you don't participate in apparently, how does that work?
First you sell your soul to the record label, and then you sell everything else you've got to the machine, which is the radio that drives music. I mean, I think that indentured servitude laws are literally still on the books in California so that they can get away with what they do with us.
The performer, the artist you're talking about?
Yeah, every penny that we ever get paid from a record label is all a loan.
Hey, a bridge in China is poised to become the tallest in the world. It's just passed a crucial final test. A load test using almost 100 heavy trucks confirmed the bridge's structural strength met safety standards.
Now, once open, the bridge will run 2.8 kilometres end to end, with its central span stretching 1.4 kilometres. At 625 metres high, the bridge will be the tallest on Earth.
When Obama became president, a lot of the original guys that were running those labels, they would bring in a New York guy to replace the Nashville guy, and then when the new guy comes in, he would start changing the culture of that label, which bled all the way down into the artists, and it bled all the way down into the publicity departments, and what kind of songs you were allowed to cut, what interviews you were allowed to do, who you were allowed to interview with.
Holy shit.
I started getting in trouble with the label because I was doing interviews with Sean Hannity. My record label went absolutely insane that I did that. You've got liberal artists that are out here saying all kinds of stuff that I don't like. You're not worried about them. They go, that's not the point. It was the point. Jason Aldean's a great example. The woke mob attacked his wife. And I remember him texting me going, what do you think I ought to do? I said, what would you do to anybody else that attacked your wife? If you come out swinging, you're selling 30,000 tickets today, you'll be selling 60,000 tickets this time next year because the Patriot crowd will come to your back. To his credit, man, he came out and just put his dukes up, and here he comes swinging, and he is doing stadium shows now.
I would like to announce here today, us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list. We know the names. Many of us were abused by them. Now, together as survivors, we will confidentially compile the names we all know who were regularly in the Epstein world. And it will be done by survivors and for survivors. No one else is involved. Stay tuned for more details.
You're complicit in a genocide! You're complicit in a genocide!
It is an honor to
United States
prepare.
government
All right.
is complicit in genocide.
Hang on just a second.
You have an obligation to the Constitution of the United States.
Off to jail.
Disabled veterans. There's a genocide! There's a genocide! Stop! You are all complicit in genocide!
Ma'am, you're not allowed to film me here. We told you this earlier.
You're complicit in a genocide! You're complicit in a genocide! Eddie, there's a genocide! Eddie! Eddie, there's a genocide! Come on, Eddie! There's a genocide! You are complicit in genocide of the Palestinian people! You are complicit! Come on, Eddie! Eddie, help us! Eddie, help us save them! Come on, Eddie!
That's a real American patriot right there. Shame on them for arresting veterans.
Are diamonds rare?
I can get in trouble for this one. No, diamonds are not rare. Okay, there was a company called De Beers. This company, De Beers, came along, I believe they're out of England, and they started buying up the diamond mines until they reached a point that they could control the outflow of diamonds. My understanding is they really created the whole system of grading diamonds to kind of create this idea of value. Diamonds are relatively common. There's enough for everyone on the planet to have it. So all they really had to do was create a giant need for diamonds. Giant marketing campaigns. Convinced everyone that this was the stone to use for engagement rings.
If you love them, get them a diamond.
Oh, right, yeah. And by controlling the market on the diamonds, they could charge whatever they wanted and create all these different levels to give it the appearance of value. And so it was really incredibly brilliant. Now, my understanding is at this point, it's not so much that they're controlling it all now. But no, there are much, much rarer stones. Oh, far rarer. Tons of much rarer stones.
So here I am at Fossil Butte Monument in Wyoming, and I saw something pretty crazy. So inside this exhibit you see these little guys, and then over here you see this guy. Look at his arms. How crazy or creepy is that?
So for the first year before the appearance of the Antichrist based in the Islamic world, it's going to be a time of great famine. The earth will withhold its rain and its grain. The third year, nothing. No rain will fall. You better be praying like you have never prayed on earth. The animals will die because they'll die of starvation. When does the Dajjal come? He comes in a time of mass chaos to bring peace, to bring the earth. He's going to tell the sky to rain and it's going to rain.
piracy is making a huge comeback, and the streamers have no one to blame but themselves. Be honest, have you illegally downloaded or streamed something recently? We don't hear too much about entertainment piracy in the news these days, but these numbers should serve as a huge warning to Hollywood. You see, piracy was a major issue back in the 2000s and 2010s, and the media companies were scared shitless. But then, in the late 2010s, legit streaming started to take hold, and it seemed like maybe Hollywood and the music industry had saved themselves. Spotify evaporated music theft, and Netflix offered a good deal for film and TV fans. And so by 2020, piracy had fallen to an all-time low. That year, piracy sites saw 130 billion visits. But last year, 2024, that number was up, hitting 216 billion. And it's easy to see why. The streaming services are nickel and diming consumers with worse and worse experiences. For starters, all of them have been steadily increasing prices and charging more for features that used to be included. Just yesterday, Apple announced it would be increasing its prices by 30%. And don't get me started on how Amazon suddenly added ads for all users. Then there's the issue of content libraries and availability. If you want to keep up with what's new and good, you need to subscribe to several services. And as a reminder, you don't own any of the shows or movies. What's there today could be gone tomorrow.
The way I look at it, if buying isn't owning, then piracy isn't stealing.
Flying cars used to be something we only saw on the TV show The Jetsons, but now the future has arrived. Today, we got the first look at a flying car that will soon be taking off at 2 Bay Area airports. San Mateo-based Aleph designed the car. It's the first in the world capable of vertical takeoff. The company has agreements with Half Moon Bay and Hollister airports to begin test operations.
Embracing electric aviation, which is quieter, which is cheaper, and the vertical takeoff and landing aviation, which does not require the runway or a taxiway, is actually where all the aviation is going right now.
Now, the company has the cars available for pre-order now. Price tag? $300,000. The company expects to start production early next year.
Flying cars already exist. They are just called helicopters.
Don't think about Hollywood. I don't have much further need for Hollywood myself. I don't know how you guys feel, but yeah, I think it's a very strange, funny time where everybody would love to be able to be themselves, but they can't because they must fall in line with the person in front of them. You want to live that kind of life? I wish you the best. I'll be on the other side somewhere, you know.
I'm starting to think these are actually aliens and the government genuinely just doesn't understand it and they don't know what to tell us anymore. 8,000 mysterious UFO-like orbs hovering over US military bases. Either another country like Russia and China is so far advanced that like we are so done, or this is us tricking us or testing other materials on our own bases, or this is genuinely a non-human intelligence.
And JP Morgan said, well, you're building wireless communication. What do you need all this money for? And Tesla's like, no. Wireless communication, I got that. We're going to do wireless energy. We're going to do wireless free energy for everyone on the planet can just tap into this and just get free electricity. And JP Morgan says, well, how do you put a meter on that? JP Morgan owned copper mines that made copper wire. He owned rubber farms all over the world that made insulation for the wire. He owned lumber mills and forests that created poles for wire. He owned coal factories. He owned machine shops that created generators for electricity. And he owned railroads that brought all this stuff around the country. Free energy shuts that whole business down. We don't need any of that. Carnegie, we don't need any of that. The Mellon family, we don't need you guys anymore. It's just free. Imagine what the world would be like if energy was just free.
That's the golden age.
Yeah, we're not going to live to see it.
Nope.
Announces a bold initiative to develop what they call next generation non-surgical neurotechnology. It is designed to allow the human brain to directly interface with machines.
We know that DARPA is exploring human-machine interfaces that include direct connections between the brain and outside systems. That's been from the beginning of DARPA's information technology mission, and it continues to this day. DARPA has created some of the most influential technologies of all time, things that we use and take for granted every day, including the project that became the internet. They've created self-driving cars, stealth technology, GPS that fits in your pocket. That's DARPA's specialty, to imagine the future and create it.
A new technology that is actually very much on the verge of being a reality that is being fielded is we could have a sensor maybe on the surface of our head, or maybe implanted somewhere in our body, in our brain, or something that allows us to interact directly with our communications gear, our processing gear, our weapon systems, and so on.
If I had to put my money on something being the mark of the beast, this would be it.
How many times you got to hear Trump say
The central casting.
What do you think that means? What do you think? What is Donald Trump's motive to constantly say, not once, a billion times, central casting, central casting. Look at this guy, central casting, central casting. And I'm going to go on a limb here. I don't believe in the whole assassination thing. I see the professional wrestling game. It's professional wrestling. They script it, you play the bad guy, we're gonna fight in public, we do our photo op, then we give it to the public, and then we control their emotions. You get this side, and you guys get this side. And that's what they do. I don't buy it. I'm sorry. I couldn't stand what was happening before him, but I do watch from a distance all of it.
Before CGI, Buster Keaton was doing all these insane stunts in real life. And he did things like letting a 4,000-pound falling house land right around him. And the wild thing is he only had around 2 inches of leeway on either side of the window, so he had to get it right on the first go. And then in this shot, he was supposed to leap to the other side, but completely whiffed and luckily fell onto an awning that broke his fall. And he also did slower stunts like this one, where the train would have completely flipped if he didn't move these blockers out in time. And this is done completely for real, other than the fact that they used prop beams that weighed way less so that he could actually lift them and move them easy. But he was also one of the first filmmakers to use visual effects to sell his shots. Like with this scene, you can see him getting dragged by the car, but then he just starts levitating. And he did the same thing that blockbuster movies do today by hiding a wire in his clothes to lift him up. Or even in this scene where he catches this woman from this waterfall, there's actually no woman. Instead, they used a dummy, and it looks pretty good for 100 years ago. But the most dangerous stunt that Buster ever pulled off was this one where he uses a water spout to get off this train. And he ended up getting hit with so much more water than he expected, slamming his neck into the steel train track below. To the point that a couple years later, he found out that he broke his neck from it, but somehow still finished the scene.
People keep saying the robots will take our jobs 10 years from now, 20 maybe, but what if I told you? It's already happening. Waymo is running over 200,000 taxi rides a week. No driver, no steering wheel, no paycheck, just pure machine. Amazon, they've got 750,000 robots sorting your packages faster than any human, and they don't take bathroom breaks or ask for raises. In China, robots are running warehouses at full speed and nobody's clocking in anymore. At gas stations, no attendants, just metallic arms refueling your car without a single word. And in kitchens, robot chefs trained on 5 million recipes, cooking perfect meals every single time. These aren't concepts. These aren't beta tests. They're working right now. And while they earn money for corporations, humans are getting laid off. Taxi drivers, warehouse workers, chefs, gone. Machines don't just replace muscle anymore. They're replacing skill, experience, craft. And most people still think their job is safe, still pretending automation's a distant threat. But this isn't science fiction, it's payroll. So ask yourself, which job will be the last one left before humans are obsolete?
Yeah, who do they expect to buy these products that the robots manufacture if we're all broke?
We have the sickest young generation in the world's history. 58% of teenage girls report being persistently sad. 32% have thought of killing themselves. 24% have planned to kill themselves. And 13% have tried to kill themselves. A CDC study. We have the sickest generation in history because we've unleashed cell phones, social media, without any neuroscience study. And I think AI is much more dangerous, has the potential to be much more dangerous.
You mentioned something about the World Trade Center, or the 9/11 thing with the number generators.
Yeah, so they had random number generators already running in several labs. So they wanted to do bigger experiments. They wanted to see if the world events have an effect on the random generator. But what is more interesting, if the random generator could indicate or have a difference before it happens. So when there is a big wave of feeling, or people kind of get elated, emotion. Yeah, so people have a particular investment in how they're, reacting or thinking. And so random number generators are affected. And I believe, I can't be certain, but you can also look it up, whether the random number generator produced different pattern before the World Trade Center event.
On 9/11, several of the random number generators reportedly showed unusual spikes and deviations from randomness. Some deviations allegedly began hours before the first plane hit, which was why people sometimes say that random number generators predicted 9/11. The project's own researchers were cautious. They didn't claim prediction, only that there appeared to be statistical anomalies correlated with the event. Wow.
The Olsen twins were the first ones this happened to. I remember being shocked. Now it's becoming normal, scary. So this was the Olsen twins. Before. Then after? What happened? What do you think could happen to a person to make them change so dramatically? Now what I want you to do is pay attention to Ashley's eyes. Here, Mary Kate and Ashley were identical. Not anymore. But Ashley's eyes have entirely changed. And Mary Kate, she just looks completely hollow. It's almost like Ashley Olsen is in a constant state of shock. Very wide-eyed. She was never like that before. It kind of reminds me of Amanda Bynes. Here you will see she has light in her eyes. She has joy. She's completely relaxed. To 2025, her eyes are a little bit wider and completely void.
Yeah, it's called the 1,000-yard stare. Usually associated with people who have experienced a lot of trauma.
I learned that the whole industry is ran by just it's a couple people. If you know that guy at Spotify, that guy at Apple, this person at Rhythm Radio and this person at Urban Radio. Between 4 people, you can run the whole.
Which is why at a certain point you decided you didn't need.
Because I knew the 4 people and had the money.
What are the steps that one takes if they decide they're going to run it all themselves?
I can tell you the exact steps. On my own label, because the production is already in-house. The videos and the music is handled on my end. That's easy. You go get the Rhythm Radio guy. You go get the Urban Radio guy. You go hire the PR agency. And that's it. And the labels use them. You know what I'm saying? The labels outsource and use the people that I have.
What does the face tell us? The face is remarkable. What's amazing when you look at the face is we see an actual image. In 1898, the first photograph is taken of the shroud. In Secunda Pia, when he takes the photograph, there was no electricity in the church, Tucker, so he had to bring in generators. He had to take flash photography. The exposures took 14 minutes and 20 minutes. Now, Secunda Pia is a lawyer, and he's just a hobbyist photographer, because who was a professional photographer at the end of the 19th century? And he's in the dark room. And I want to show you what he sees using my cell phone. If you take your phone and if you put it in classic invert and you just bring up the camera, and if you focus in on the image, you're going to see exactly what Secunda Pia saw this image. And he's a follower of Jesus. And he believes he's looking at the face of Jesus Christ. And what does he say in the dark room in 1898, never more appropriately? Oh my.
If the shroud is real, then that's one of the coolest artifacts on this planet.
Have you ever heard the theory how hell isn't actually a physical place, but it's a frequency? Oh yeah. You can imagine heaven is in the sky, but hell is low, underground, right? What does that translate to? High vibration, low vibration. Low vibration. Okay. Check this out. People on ayahuasca, when they go into their trips and they see all these entities and different demons or whatever interacting with them, they can see what? Good and bad. In the Bible, when God said the fallen angels fell to earth and they try to trick the humans, this and that, right? Yeah. The reason being, they weren't given earth. Adam, humans were blessed the kingdom and earth, right? Yep. But they're trapped there somehow where they can still interact with us. And that hell may very well be just the frequency of where you are. Yeah. And maybe those things interact with you invisibly because you can't see these frequencies. Yeah. I can't see Wi-Fi. Yeah. I can't see radio waves.
But we still use it.
And it still affects you.
100%, yeah.
So imagine different dimensions. Like there's a heaven dimension. That's where the angels work with, right? And then there's the demon hell vibration frequency.
All right, y'all. There's something I need to talk to y'all about. There's just been a lot of school hoaxes, if you get what I'm saying, going on throughout the country. And I got to ask y'all something. Is this a foreshadowing for something? Are they trying, is this like a test of some sort? Trying to see how America or these schools and these universities are handling these types of hoaxes that are going on throughout the country? I mean, we just had another one, if I'm correct, in Arkansas, and it was a hoax. Didn't we have another one earlier yesterday as well? And they keep coming. They keep occurring over and over and over again. What is really going on here? Somebody talk to me, y'all, because like I'm wondering what the hell's really going on here. Is something big about to happen? I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm just asking a question for a friend. You feel me?
Sounds to me like they are trying to take away our tools of defense.
Israel runs our government, and I would love for anyone to prove me wrong. I went down about a 10-day rabbit hole where I looked at everything that Zionist and that Israel has their hands in. And I'm going to tell you right now, from our CDC all the way to our Food and Drug Administration, to the pharmaceutical industries, to shipping and receiving, to BlackRock, they've got Israel, AIPAC, and the Zionist religion are running the show here. I would love for you to prove me wrong, but I'm going to tell you, a country of 10 million people gets $17 billion a year from us. That's every single one of their citizens can get $1 million from us every single year and still have enough money coming in for us to give them free health care and free college. They all get pensions. They all can get a loan to buy a home, and it's our money. We can't do that. We can't afford to go buy groceries. But we can give them $17 billion. Prove to me that I'm wrong, that Israel isn't running our government.
I have one final question before you go. Is there anything? Joe Rogan just talked about this. Everybody talks about this amazing bombshell thing that you reported on. You know what I'm going to say. Yeah. This UFO possibly found in that they needed to build a bunker around that was like, a mile plus long. Anything you can say about it?
I do not resile from saying what I've said previously, which is that there is a buried, or at least built upon, UFO that was too big to move. And so in the case of the buried UFO, I can't reveal, because if I reveal why I say this, it would compromise it. It's a very sensitive place. That should be enough of a guide for you. And to reveal the full extent of what I know would compromise the lives of young men and women who are doing good things for America, completely separate from the UAP program, and they're probably oblivious to what's sitting downstairs.
Yeah, my guess would be the Hoover Dam. We all know they're hiding something there.